I just wanted to tell people that it's been my personal dream to walk into a movie theater to Pat Benatar's Hit Me. So hi, my name is Millie Chirico, and I am a film writer and a film programmer and a former employee of Videodrome, I have to say. And we are here to talk about one of my all-time favorite movies of all time, Little Darlings from 1981. Can you raise your hand if you have actually seen this movie before? Oh my God, amazing! I thought it was going to be less than that. But I'm also excited for people who haven't seen it because it is truly a gem in my mind. Before we get started, let me do a couple of announcements. So this Sunday here at the Plaza, there's going to be a VHS market. So if you're really into VHS tapes, it's kind of going to be your paradise. There's going to be about 15 vendors. And then after the VHS show, they're going to show Idle Hands, the movie Idle Hands. So if you're into disembodied body parts, isn't that what that is?
And bongs.
Like a rogue hand. That'll be this Sunday. And then on Saturday, April 13th, the Deadly Prey Art Gallery show is coming back to Atlanta, where there's those hand-painted posters that are really wonderful. And most exciting, Lady Terminator in 35 millimeter. It apparently looks amazing. Lady Terminator is a masterpiece. So if you come, you will see Lady Terminator. It's a great film. It is literally a Lady Terminator. All right, so having said all those things, let's talk about Little Darlings. I have 2 pages of notes. I had like 10 pages, so I'm whittling it down to 2. So first of all, did you know that this film was made in Atlanta, Georgia? In and around Atlanta, Georgia? Woo-hoo! Very exciting. So, if you're looking hard enough, especially towards the beginning of the movie, you will see places like the Swan Coach House. You will see Hard Labor Creek State Park, which is east of Atlanta. It's where they filmed Friday the 13th, Part 6. You will see the employee parking deck at CNN Center, which is across the street from State Farm Arena. If you were in middle school in Georgia, you will see Rock Eagle 4-H Center. I don't know if everybody was forced to go to Rock Eagle when they were in middle school. Me too. So this film was directed by Roland F. Maxwell, but it was written by 2 women, which will be fairly obvious once the movie starts. The 2 women are Kimmy Peck and Daylene Young. Kimmy Peck came from a Hollywood family, and she was at one point married to one of Gregory Peck's sons, which is why her last name is Peck. But she apparently sold this screenplay before she even turned 30, so that's really cool. And Daylene Young is kind of a legend in her own right. She famously wrote a bunch of like really great 70s made-for-TV movies, including this movie called Dawn, Portrait of a Teenage Runaway.
Oh my God. Woo, yeah.
Starring Eve Plum, aka Jen Brady from the Brady Bunch. And she is the portrait of a teenage runaway in that film. Also, she did the film version of the Babysitters Club books. Do you remember that? Mm-hmm. It was directed by Melanie Mayron from Girlfriends. And also, notably, really strange movie. There's a movie that she collaborated on with her husband called Sunny Boy from 1989. Has anybody seen that movie at all? Yes? 2 people? Can you find that at Videodrome? Is that something that's available at Videodrome? Okay. It's a must. Get that tape. Very interesting film. But we have to talk about the 2 stars of this film. Christy McNichol and Tatum O'Neal, the crushes, the teenage girls that we all admired and wanted to be. They were both pretty famous when this movie came out. And, Tatum had already won an Oscar, of course, for Paper Moon, but in this era, in the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s, they were kind of, fighting for the same roles in a way, because they're both kind of typecast as these kind of tough little girls, right? And Christy McNichol actually was up for the role of Amanda in Bad News Bears that eventually went to Tatum O'Neal. So they were kind of, in Hollywood around the same time, trying to, figure out how to work and be the same character in films. But then the fact that they came together, this movie is really special to me. And you know, there's just, additionally in this film, tons of incredible women all throughout this cast, and they're all really young, and they're acting their asses off. They're so good. There's, you know, besides, you know, Christine Tatum, there's a little somebody named Cynthia Nixon, who, Sex and the City fame, of course. I also have to mention Alexa Kennan, who is essentially, she died very young, unfortunately. She had a very short career, but she famously played Molly Ringwald's best friend in Pretty in Pink, if you remember. She was the one that told the popular girl, I hope they shrivel up and fall off, while she was smoking a volleyball game. She's in this movie, and she has seen Last Tango in Paris a lot. And of course, I would be remiss if I did not mention the very youthful and misunderstood Matt Dillon. And this was his third film after Over the Edge and My Bodyguard, and he essentially has played the same person in those 3 films. So it won't be jarring for you to see him like this. But I just really can't stress enough how great I think this movie is, and it's just very near and dear to my heart. I have to shout out John Robinson from Videodrome, sitting right here. Back like, God, it was like 13, 14 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
This film was unavailable for a very long time, like really hard to see. Like, I don't even know if it was on YouTube in like 10 parts at that point. And I wanted to see it really badly. And he was like, let me work on that. And then he worked on that in a way that I don't understand on the internet. And then it materialized. And it was like, we watched it together and we were just like falling in love with this movie again. And then when I was programming at Turner Classic Movies, I worked there for many years, I was like, I have to find a way to put this movie on the channel because I want people to see it and I hope they just tape it and it's just out there. And that's what we did. In 2012, we conspired to put Little Darlings on TCM. And so from that point on, I think we were at least trying to just get it out there for people to see, right? So it kind of feels like this full circle moment right now to have this unbelievable restoration of it and the 4K Blu-ray that's actually available probably out there, but Cinematograph did the restoration and put out the Blu-ray. I'm doing the commentary, so if you don't like me, you'll have to skip that. But it's just such a gem, and it was really ahead of its time in so many ways, I think. If you haven't seen it, you'll recognize it pretty immediately, because if you think about camp films of the early 80s, they were really raunchy and they were really about guys. And so you have this female-fronted cast, female writers talking about, you know, teenagers and sex and friendships and the ways girls relate to each other. And it's just really special to me. And I'm just really happy that this is happening in my town and that it was filmed here. This is so great.
Yes.
So please enjoy this wonderful movie, Little Darlings.
You can just leave it there.
Sit with you for a second.
Yeah.
Let's all go to the lobby.